So in this video, Joanna and Tim are going to give a demonstration of the GROW model. I'm going to be observing and adding commentary to highlight the different types of questions and any points where signposting is used. So guys, over to you.
Hello, Tim.
Hey.
Welcome to our speed coaching session. What is your topic for today?
The topic is about how to motivate participants who we do not have in front of us to actually watch and review and discuss the films that we send them, so that when we see them in webinar, they've already heard the content.
What is your long-term goal?
That's a philosophical question. The long-term goal is to massively shake up the way that education is seen in an organization, in any of the customers that we have, and to increase the level of self-motivation from participants from what is extremely low today.
And what is your short-term goal?
I don't know at the moment.
Okay. Okay, let's see what is the situation at the moment.
Very traditional 3-day workshop. Participants come and they go. A little bit less traditional. There's pre-work in front of the 3-day workshop. They do the pre-work, they come, it's assessed. They go through the workshop, they go. Journey type workshop. 2 days, 2 days, 2 days with a bit of project work in between. Yeah. This is, status quo. This is 80%, 70% of the market is still running their education in this way. More progressive, hybrid, yeah, a mixture of online and offline. The online is still in webinar format. More progressive than that, some companies use e-learning packages where they expect people to do their own learning. Very, very difficult to track and always suffering from the topic of not demotivated people. It's just that people don't take it anywhere near as seriously as they would. And another thing, one of the guys was telling me the other day, he said, yeah, but it's a YouTube video. I don't pay attention to a YouTube video in the same way that I do to, real life happening around me.
Mm-hmm. What else can you tell me about the situation?
Customers are very, not frightened, but very concerned that their people simply wouldn't engage in it, and then that they would get, critical feedback or a bad reputation for developing and creating something for their people to do, which then backfires on them.
Mm. Okay, let's go back to the goal a little bit.
Yeah.
Does your long-term goal fit?
Radically shaking up the way that adult education in companies is done. Yes, absolutely. If you can get people engaging in topic matter before they come to the face-to-face or online face-to-face reality, then everybody wins for sure. Yeah.
Mm. And just to narrow down the goal a little bit, what would you like to achieve by the end of this session?
I have a basic plan of things that we could do, but I don't have any feedback to those. So you getting some feedback to the current option list might be good. Seeing if I've missed anything, that would be realistic.
Okay. So what are your options?
Well, option number 1 is that people review the films individually, either with or without pre-work. With or without reflection questions. Yeah, there'll always be reflection questions, but the question is, do we create space and time for them to actually do that?
Okay, what else?
The same, but in groups of 2. So we create a buddy system, which is either a static buddy system or where the pairs change.
Any other options you see now?
The same in groups of 3. That's my preferred, because The group of three may end up as being a group of two. The group of three is slightly more dynamic. So the group of three receives the film link, the review questions. That also means that you could rotate the ownership of the review questions around the group. That would be quite complicated, but would be an option. That's a good option, actually.
Okay. What else?
One angle would be agreeing with the client to schedule the film watching process, which means, for example, watching the films on a Monday, going to the webinar on a Friday, yeah, or having a little bit of space, 2-3 days in between the actual reviewing process and then the webinar itself.
Mm-hmm. Any other options you might think of now?
I mean, if we are lucky enough to have an internal customer who is really, you know, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and behind the concept, then we could do an interview with the executive level, and then underlining the importance of it, a reviewed, a videoed interview with the execs, so that everybody could see that would have a good impact, I think.
What advice would you give to your best friend if he were in the situation you are now?
My best friend.
Yeah.
My best friend is a guy called Drunken Duncan. So, that's Duncan. What would I? He would definitely say run the interview with the executive level. He would definitely. He would. It was, what advice would I give to him? No, so he would tell me to run the exec meeting for sure. He would also tell me to ensure that the HR or people development, organizational development people are in on that movie, and then run some kind of feedback process or loop with the film, so that they can gain traction from that and a discussion thread from that. Mm-hmm.
What would you do if you had unlimited power of change?
I would definitely create scheduling for watching the film and for discussing the questions, the review questions at the end of each film. If I really had unlimited power, I would have a group of people whose job it was to rotate the job of meeting observation. It's a very good idea. If I had unlimited power, then I would have the top management level all doing this as well, and their job would be moderating the meetings and moderating those review discussions. Yeah.
What do you think the consultant you most admire would do in this situation?
He would say that without a 50% level of responsibility, it wouldn't work. Yeah. So and that means that within our sales system and within our marketing pitch, we would have to kind of build in an ultimatum, which is, you're not allowed to buy this unless you agree to the following. That's an interesting that's an interesting option.
Great. So we have a bunch of options now. Is there anything you want to add to the list?
No. What might be an interesting, a very interesting tool would be taking one of our clients' competency lists and then doing some kind of mapping process onto the various skills and specific skills that all of the different models link into, and having some kind of mapping process that would be easy for customers to do. That would be very cool, because it might link into the a number of things. It was just a different thought.
Great. So we have quite an extensive list of options. If you were to choose something that you want to start doing, what would that be? So what will you do?
Did you take a list of all of those options by any chance?
Only in my head.
No, so I would definitely go. I mean, I would want to push for the trio rather than the pair. And so that's one thing. I'll definitely go with writing up the ideal world scenario of having trios with 2 leads and 1 middle management or upper management lead to take over the consulting, facilitation, moderation role of that viewing process. Whether they come to the webinar or not is irrelevant, or a different topic. We'll need to write up the kind of a picture of the executive interview as well, and what the potential of value out of that would be.
Great. So when will you do this?
Next week.
Great. What resources do you need?
Mike.
Great. So when can we meet to align?
We will need to put this into action in January. So yeah, after Christmas and after a happy new year.
Perfect. Thank you for your time.
See you then.